Hey, Jack, guess what?
What?
Well, you already know. Why don't you tell everybody?
We just launched something called the Lady Line, and we want to hear from all of you bitches.
It's kind of like our updated version of Ask the LadyGang. So if you have any specific questions, concerns, quandaries, secrets, we still love those. It's the same old telephone number from Lady Secrets, 1-844-SEXY-LADY.
And basically what we're trying to do is get your voices on the podcast. So if you're brave, we want to give advice. We want to hear your thoughts. Call us, 1-844-SEXY-LADY. Leave us a message. We're going to play it starting on the podcast when we get enough of them. Okay, bye.
Well, what is this?
Welcome to the Lady Gang.
That's amazing. Say that again.
The Lady Gang.
Things are about to change around here.
Each week we catch up with Hollywood's hottest girl posse, Kelty Knight, Becca Tobin, and Jack Vanek.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Lady Gang. I'm Becca Tobin here with Jack Vanek and Kelty Knight.
Hi.
Hello, world.
Hello, world.
How's it going?
I mean, I don't know how you have a child because I have a dog who did not sleep last night. Something's up with her. Did she eat something? She's panting all night. She's up and down. There's coyotes. Like, I feel like I didn't sleep. And I'm like, I don't know how you do children.
Maybe
Children are easier than that.
I know. Maybe she's sensing something like, you know, the big one, like we've been talking about. Like maybe Callie is sensing the big storm.
Because we had the big earthquake the other night. She slept through that. But like, you know, she was just so weird last night. She wouldn't cuddle. I did all the things, all the soothing mother things that I normally do. And now she's asleep on the beanbag. And I must be nice. Some of us have to go to work.
Maybe your house is too hot for her to sleep.
Actually, I love that you said that. No, it's frozen because it was hot. They had me turn it up to 80 because they were blasting the plaster. They wanted it to dry.
Oh, shit.
And so it was like my dream temperature. And then it was so hot, I turned it off. And so I haven't had the heat on for like 2 days.
Oh,
God.
And I had a door open because she kept running out to the coyotes. And I was like, I'm not opening this door every time you want to say hi to your coyote friends. So I just left it open. So I was really in the tundra.
You left the door open so she could go hang out with coyotes in the middle of the night. Is that what you're saying?
Like Kelty says, when it's her time, it's her time. You know,
she's on the veranda. She's just overlooked. They can't get up there. It's 45
they
feet.
probably could if they really wanted to have a little snacky snack.
Parkour.
Parkour. Okay.
But why did you leave it open?
Because they come and go all night, and she will sit at the door and bark and wake me up, and she just wants to look over the edge and see what they're up to.
Oh, my God. This is wild.
You're a crazy person.
Yesterday, I was cleaning out my closet upstairs, and I found all this old dog food, so I just threw it over the veranda, and I'm sure that coyotes came to eat it last night. What am I doing?
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Just not a thought going through her head. She's like, this is just what I'm doing right now.
We're the gophers. Chris would kill me if he knew I did that. I hope he doesn't listen to this. Okay, what's up, guys?
I'm so concerned for you. Okay, I'm going to hop in. Actually, this is a good segue into my Good Week, Bad Week. So It's time for...
Good week.
Yes, it is.
Bad week. Oh, no.
Okay, so... I know that it's like a weekly roast of Kelty, but I just can't.
You guys.
This is a charming one. This is charming.
Okay, because the fan base is going to turn on you, I feel.
Okay.
Because of the Kelty stands are too
the
strong.
Kelties are going to get mad at you.
Well, they do get mad at us because they think that we're like actually mean to you. When
no,
it's
that's
just
not true. Yeah.
When it's a nice, pleasurable roast.
Yeah, let's do. This is a roast I accept. Here we go, Becca.
Sweet roast.
Okay, and here's the reason that we talk about Kelty all the time. Okay,
because she's the star. She's the star of the Lady Gang.
She's the star of the Lady Gang, and also I know that it makes great content because even when I tell Kelty stories to people that don't listen to the podcast, and I try to, really flesh out her as a human and a character, people die laughing. I was getting my hair colored the other day, and I think I was telling a story about, God, I don't even remember.
Whatever it was.
Something. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's what it was. Okay. So it was a conversation about fame, and that...
Of course.
And that I really appreciate when someone like Kelty is really overtly obsessed with fame, and she's aware of the fact that there's nothing in Hollywood that you can do talent-wise to bring fame to you. You have to have talent, but you also have to really go out and actively seek the fame. Yep. And so I was saying how it's so nice to be around someone like Kelty, and then you're around, and then you like talk about all these other celebrities who pretend to really like not care about the fame, and then they're like paying people off to get a Golden Globe award. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was telling the story about her by like calling the paparazzi on herself, and it was like people can't believe it because we're so used to those stories in our group, but they're like, wait, she not only calls the paparazzi on herself, she actively admits to it. I'm like, oh yeah, like a couple weeks ago she went to New York and said that her paparazzi blew her off for somebody more famous, like, you know, and blah blah blah. So it's all out of love because we know that Kelty's way more interesting than Jack or myself. Like there's no character to. She's Valerie Cherish, okay?
Yeah.
Well,
if you know the
I don't know what that means, but Kelty like literally is the type of person, like you see these people doing podcasts literally alone and you're like, who the could just talk to themselves for like an hour? I'm like, you know who could? Kelty. Because she's fascinating and she just like, you just like keep going and going and going. And it's like, if you're talking about the sconce, you're talking about that for 30 minutes. And it's like, it is a true talent.
It's a skill.
Thank you. I'm so excited to share with you my good week, bad week, because it's actually another really embarrassing Kelty story. But Becca, please continue.
Okay. So my good week is this. There's always just more. It just, the layers keep coming. She's a bloomin' onion, y'all. And my friend Megan, she's my best friend in LA. You guys have met her. She's a hoot. And she's like such a Nancy Drew. If you give her somebody's name, she'll find out like the year they got their period and like where their husband's ex-wife's cousin lives. Like she's a psychopath. So she really gets enjoyment out of these things. So she texted me last night and she's like, I have a new hobby of stalking. And I said, okay, well, what is it? And she said, I like to find people's public Pinterest boards because people don't really go out of their way to make conceal those and make it private.
I do.
Yeah, because you know how crazy people are.
Yeah.
And so I was like, ooh, tell me a few. And she tells me a few that are really funny, like her husband's ex-girlfriend's like baby nursery Pinterest board. Like it's so fucking crazy. She's like, oh, and on my travels, I also found Kelty's teeth inspiration Pinterest board. It's public.
No.
And I said,
wait, it is?
I said,
my God.
Send me immediately. I go, this must have been when she was getting her veneers. Her new veneers.
Yeah.
And
I do have a teeth one.
It's 2 years old, and it's just pictures of Gigi Hadid and Kendall Jenner. That's it.
Because I think they have the nicest teeth.
This is amazing.
I really wanted small teeth.
Well, I feel like there's got to be some other good Pinterest public boards for Kelty that she's.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, there's like
you probably don't. I've never even made one private.
No,
I don't know even how to do that.
Sex positions for vacation.
Yeah,
or like nipple tassel inspiration.
Yeah. Well, I love that I had like no personal style, but yet I was making style Pinterest for all my friends, like Christina Perry. I have like CP style. Like nobody asked me. Like, what am I doing?
I love this so much.
Archived boards, things to eat. I archived it. I was like,
to eat.
Nope. I need the teeth one, but I don't need things to eat.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
That pretty much is you in a nutshell.
Your teeth turned out great. So
thanks.
Good
They
job.
do look great. They're a little bigger than Gigi's, but still cute. Okay.
My bad week is that I backed into a parked car.
Oh,
I got in a little fender bender too last week. Yep.
Whoa,
Yep.
It's something in the air.
Yeah.
Was it your fault?
Kinda. We were like at a
don't say that. Your insurance is listening.
No, we were at a red light and all the cars started moving and then the guy in front of me started moving and then slammed on his brakes and then I bumped into him.
Were you on your phone?
No. I mean, who knows?
I know.
Becca, how did you have a crash?
Mine is so embarrassing. It is so fucking embarrassing. Going to a restaurant in downtown Austin, it's not like driving in New York City. It's like it's bustling, but it's nothing crazy. And but parking is sometimes an issue because a lot of it's street parking and it's hard to find a spot, whatever. So I'm circling around, and I pass the driveway for the restaurant and there's somebody backing out and there's going to be a spot. And I don't know why, but I like backed up and I kept backing up even though I was backing up to let this person out so I could have their spot. But I kept hearing beeping. I have a car that literally beeps when the wind blows. And it's beeping and beeping and beeping at me. And I don't even look to see what it is because I'm just so anxious that I'm going to lose the parking spot. So in my anxiety, I literally back into a car that is parked, and then I have to go into the restaurant and announce to everybody, ask who drives the blah, blah, blah vehicle. And it turns out it was the manager of the restaurant, and it was a fucking bummer.
Wait, you didn't just leave a note?
Okay, so
I would have driven away and not eaten there. Eaten there and left a note and be like, call me. They probably wouldn't have called you. Was there damage?
Well, but that's the same situation. Like, so I went into the restaurant the first time and none of the patrons said it was there. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to leave a note. So I started to leave a note. And then my friend who was there was like, oh, wait, it's the manager. So I was like, well, that's better. Because I feel like, I don't know, the note feels weird. What if it gets blown away in the wind?
Oops. Not your fault. Weather.
That is such bad karma. I had to see the person to be like, I am so sorry.
I mean, I commend you. That takes some fucking balls. That should be an exercise that people have to do when they need to like get some confidence in like public speaking and social interactions is going into a restaurant and doing exactly what you did.
It was so embarrassing. So that really, and Zach already doesn't trust my driving abilities. And so every time I do anything, it's like, it takes 2 years to bounce back and make up for it. And then I usually like on the dot 2 years later will hit something else. So this is my life. This is me. I'm a mess and I am upset. Who's next?
I'll go. So my good week is something that actually Becca brought up the other week when we were having our Friday Night Lights episode. You mentioned it in passing and it really resonated with me and stuck with me. And that is a term that Jason Bateman allegedly coined called sexy indifference. And I need to chat about this because I feel like Kelty is sexy mature and I'm feeling this sexy indifference and I need to know more.
Well, you possess sexy indifference for some things, but it's a healthy detachment. So the way he talks about it is mostly in acting, it's like in auditioning. Oh. When you walk into a room, even though you want something so badly, well, maybe you don't want, I don't know. But what comes across is sexy indifference because you genuinely are like,
you're like
not
blasé.
Attached. It's a blasé. It's like you can give this to me if you want, but it's not going to make my day or whatever. So that's the sexy indifference. It's when everyone else around you is desperate idiots, like really desperately thirsty for whatever that thing is. And the person who usually gets it is the person who's like, I could take it or leave it.
I love this. But I feel like I apply this in most of my life until I get hyperfixated on something and care like 1,000,000%. But
I don't think any of us possess sexy indifference when it comes to our careers.
Yeah. And like shit you actually care about.
That's the thing. It's having the sexy indifference about things you genuinely really do care about.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's... I don't know.
I was taking it as like my sexy indifference to like going out to the places that I'm going to see people that I have dated, but I am dressed like a trash bag and no makeup on and look like absolute shit, but like I don't care. Like that.
And they probably think you're hot.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's sexy indifference to me.
For sure. Yes. That definitely applies.
Yeah, that's where I feel like for most things in life, I'm like, I don't really give a shit, but maybe that comes off. Maybe it exudes sexy indifference.
I would call it that I have sometimes accidental sexy indifference, where someone's like, oh my God, do you remember that watershed weekend we spent together and we had tears and you told me our deepest, darkest secrets? And I'd be like, I'm sorry, what's your name? Like that,
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think sexy indifference, people should apply it to dating because I feel like that.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's
like hard to get.
But you can't like make yourself have sexy indifference. It's kind of
you can pretend.
But you can work on it. Like I wasn't born sexy mature. I've been working on it.
Every day you're working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can pretend to be sexually indifferent, I think.
Sexually indifferent.
Sexually indifferent. Fake it till you make it. I really I felt it like in my soul. So I'm into that.
Great.
Okay. My bad week is my TMJ is out of fucking control and I don't know what to do.
Have you done acupuncture?
No. And I was thinking about, does it help with TMJ?
It's the only thing that worked for me. I had when I was doing Rockettes and I had all those fucking hats. I swear to God, that fucking soldier hat wrecked me. I couldn't open my mouth for like a year. No blowjobs. It was a disaster. I mean, it wasn't a disaster. It was fine.
Yeah,
anyway, the only thing that worked, like I did every single thing. The only thing that worked was weekly acupuncture.
Okay, I need to start doing acupuncture. I'm getting Botox next week for it. I went and I got a TMJ massage.
Yeah, where they go inside your mouth.
They go inside your mouth.
It's kind of gross.
The weird thing, it was at this lady's house with her cats, and
weird.
it felt wrong to have somebody's fingers
Cat
in your
fingers
mouth.
inside you. Yeah, I agree. Did she wear the little glove, the little condom, finger condom?
Yeah, I mean, she's not putting her bare hands in my mouth.
Okay,
but,
well, you don't know. She's a cat woman.
it was weird. I'm like, I feel like I need to be like at some kind of an office for this sort of a massage. So it felt a little bit weird. Maybe I need to find somebody new, but like it was the best feeling in the entire world. She was like, I've never felt somebody that has tighter master muscles than you in my life. And I was like, thank you so much.
Why don't you just do Botox?
I am. I'm going next week to do it. I'm trying to do all the things because I haven't done anything. And it's just kind of now become this mountainous issue. So now I'm like actually attacking it. Need to find a new masseuse, I think.
Yeah, I don't think you should be going. Well, I mean, whatever. Live your life.
I don't know if it's a house.
Sexy and difference. The house
sexy
call
and
for a
different.
mouth thing feels weird.
Feels weird. Yeah. So
I
bad
just
week.
think hairball immediately.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm like,
the cat
For you.
The cat thing. Yeah. I mean, I hate cats and I'm allergic to them. So that was like another issue. But, you know.
yeah.
And I was
Okay.
like under this fuzzy blanket. It was weird. I felt weird.
This is getting worse.
Don't
by the
put me
minute.
under a personal blanket.
It was a personal blanket. Like it was. Yeah. Okay. Your turn.
Okay. All right. Well, everyone, I know you're dying to know how my trip to Dubai was. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I am now a travel influencer. Thank you so much. But here is my. I'm going to start with my bad week because Becky, we're talking about like Kelty being a weirdo. So we get there and it's like, it's all star-studded, right? Like, it's the biggest Bollywood stars in the world. Like, it's just like huge people. So I'm flying there and like in the first class is me, Chris, his boss, his wife, Ellen Pompeo, and her husband, who's like also in the music business. That's it. Like, it was just like so chill. Amazing. Anyway, so we get to the event and like we just kind of were running in the same circles all weekend because you would like go to dinner and then you'd go to the show and like it was just the same people. So I was trying to be like super fucking cool because I was just on wife duty. So I was like not on e-news duty where I was trying to like get people, meet people, whatever. And some people were like really excited to meet me. Like I met Ashley Park from Emily in Paris and we like kikied over all my failed Broadway auditions and Emily in Paris and then like literally was like she had the biggest shoes and I was like, please don't run, you're gonna break your ankle. And then like literally later in the night she broke her ankle. Like anyway, so we had so much fun. It's like sprained or whatever. Like the next morning I saw her in the hotel and she had like I went to bed but they had called not the police, the ambulance or whatever. Anyway, so on the last day we were there, there's this Ellen Pompeo's beautiful husband, and I can talk about this because they're together. They were on the cover of Architectural Digest, so everyone knows who they are. This is like not a secret relationship or anything. And his name is Chris, and he's like lovely, lovely guy. I don't really know what he does, but he told me that back in the day he used to work with New Kids on the Block, which like right away I was like, what, Donnie, huh? Anyway, so we get talking, and we spent like an hour together talking at this party, and he was alone, and he'd come down to see it, but nothing was really going on. So him and Chris were talking music and we're talking and I was like, oh my God, like I saw your house in Architectural Digest and it was so beautiful. And he was like, oh my God, yeah, thanks. And Chris was like, you guys used to live up in Whitley Heights near us. And we talked about houses for like an hour. It was amazing. And I felt like we were like really getting to know each other. And then I was like, how did you guys all meet? Like, and he told me the story of like when they were nobodies and they met and they've been together 30 years. Like it was just this really nice, long conversation. And I said, let me ask you something. A lot of my friends right now are having their first kid or they're like a few years into their marriages and like a lot of those marriages are failing. I was like, in Hollywood, this high pressure thing, like how have you made it work? Like how have you guys stayed together for so long? And he gave me this beautiful answer and he's like, I just refuse to give up and blah, blah, like all this stuff. And it was like this really lovely conversation. And so then we go in the hotel and Ellen comes by and we'd seen her a little bit throughout the weekend. And like, I don't know why I did this. I'm such a fucking idiot, but I'm like, oh my God, hi, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, why do you think you guys have like stayed together? We were just having this. And I said to her, I was just having this great conversation and talking about it. But it was like so abrupt. Like it was like the third thing I've ever said to her was like, why have you gotten divorced? to like the biggest TV star in the world. And the way that I said it was very abrupt. And she was like, well, I'm a Virgo. And like, I think she appreciated that I wasn't like, so what's up with Grey's Anatomy? Like I was like trying to like not, it's exhausting to fucking small talk that much over the course of a weekend. And I was trying to like have a deeper conversation. So you know that Chris Knight is my number one fan and he loves me so much. And I can count on one hand, maybe the feather earring, the peacock feather earring, and this were the only times he's ever given me notes on life before. We got up to the hotel room and he looked at me and he goes, why did you do that?
Oh my God.
And I was like, what? And he's like, why are you asking people why they're not divorced? He's like, it's so weird, Kelty. He's like, it's so weird. And these are people we just met. And that's like Jay Brown's best friend. And I was like, I never get notes from Chris. Anyway, he was very embarrassed. And so then
did you feel weird when you sent, like, did it come out of your mouth and you're like, ugh?
Well, at the moment, like I could feel Chris like tense up. And it wasn't weird because we just spent this hour with other Chris and we're talking about relationships in Hollywood and like their passion is their houses and like they don't even care about Hollywood and like, you know, having this wonderful, and then she came in and it was like very abrupt. But then I followed up and like we ended up kind of going to a corner and I was like, hey, you know, like, I just want to say like I read your article and I said to her, like, I read your article in Hollywood Reporter about how you were like trying to, you know, up the women in your staff and help with equal pay. And I was like, you know, when I had a show last year that I was executive producer on and I really like was really focused on the same thing and you were really inspiring and I knew you got a lot of hate. And we had this like beautiful conversation. She was like, it's so fucking crazy. Women hate me all the time. Anyway, like all this stuff. So I felt like it was fine, but then Chris did not think it was fine.
Well, she's probably listening, so that's good. She'll hear this. Just kidding.
She loves LadyGang.
She's not listening. I mean, I could probably try to get her on. And I feel like I was like, Chris, should I send flowers? Should I apologize? Should I be like, hey, why am I weirdo? And then he was like, do not do anything else.
Also, she probably gets weirdos talking to her all the fucking time.
I know,
like,
but why do I have to be one of the weirdos?
Whatever.
Why can't I just be normal?
No, I think that someone like her, like more like what Jack is saying, I think that every interaction she has outside of her intimate circle is weird.
It's probably weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't, people don't know how to talk to her. People don't want to treat her differently. So then in not treating her differently, like you get in too deep. Like the boundaries with a like huge star are so tricky because some really are bothered by things and others are not, and they know that. I think she's been famous for long enough to not look at an interaction with somebody like you if it was maybe awkward and like think it has anything to do with you and more about the circumstances of like who she is.
Yeah, like taking it personally.
Yeah. You can invite her on LadyGang and we can totally have a moment. People love that where you're like, hey, first of all, I need to address that I was a fucking weirdo.
I think
she doesn't even remember it.
No. She probably doesn't remember it. She was like, it was like 5 o'clock at night. She's like, I just slept. I'm so jet lagged. Like she was in her pajamas in the lobby. Like she doesn't seem like someone that cares.
No.
All right. Well, that was my bad week, but here's my good week. I have tasted the sweet, sweet flesh of meat.
How?
We were at dinner and I accidentally ate some beef. It's the first beef I've eaten since.
How was it prepared? Like, what was it?
Well, it was Chris Knight's fault. So we were having, it was all fish at this place. And then these little Wagyu meat slabs came out on rice and it looked like sushi. And I said, is that meat or is that fish? And he goes, that's sushi, Kelty. So I take a bite and I was like, wow, they smoke that salmon. Like it is so smoky. You would never believe it. And I put it down and then the waiter came. I was like, was that fish or meat? He's like, meat. That was beef. And I was like, Anyway,
probably delicious.
I haven't had a piece of beef since I was in 8th grade. So probably like 13 years old. And I forgot what actual meat tastes like because I've only had like Beyond Meat. Meat is delicious. It had a lot of flavor. I felt my iron instantly jam up to the rafters.
Dude, beef is what you need.
No, I'm not eating anymore. I thought I was going to barf, have explosive diarrhea. I had neither. I had so much gas. Something about being on a plane for 20 hours where I just stood around farting for like the entire weekend.
Yeah, that'll
like
do
everywhere I went, I saw like Food God, Jonathan Chiban or whatever his name is, the Kardashian friend, and I was like talking to him about stuff, and then I was just like, I'm just farting right now. Literally just farting so much.
The plane farts don't usually smell though. They're just like trapped gas or trapped
But it
air.
was trapped, but it didn't, like, it wasn't just on the plane. It was like the whole weekend. Like, I wore that corset under my dress and I still had like a gas baby. Anyway.
No.
All right. I'm embarrassing. I ate beef. It was delicious. When we come back, our first allegedly what's happening, just the three of us, in so long. This episode of LadyGang is brought to you by Next Evo, and this is one of those gold star products for me. They've been a long-time sponsor now, and I swear to God, if I took a picture of my nightstand right now while I'm living through this renovation and the flood and all this stuff, I have the gummies, the Stress CBD Complex, and the sleep gummies beside my bed, and I'm taking, I think you're supposed to take 2, I'm taking 3 every night, and they literally, I'm reading like one chapter of my book and falling right asleep, and this is a very stressful time for me. And so if you've never tried CBD brands or anything, what makes this special is they have this smart sorb technology that absorbs easier, and it is clinically proven to reduce stress by up to 70% and concentration by 50%, which is huge. This smart sorb is proven 30 times better absorption in the first 30 minutes. We love this so much. Typical brands usually have like 2 to 10% absorption, so like 90% of it's wasted. Not. So make CBD a part of reaching your full potential or your full night sleep with Next Evo Naturals. Go to nextevo.com/podcast and use our promo code LADY to get 20% off your first order of $40 or more. That is 20% off for $40 or more at nextevo, nextevo.com/podcast with our code LADY. You will not be sorry.
Ooh, do I have some great news to kick off the new year. Lifestyle apparel brand TravisMathew has an amazing new women's clothing line. Crafted with elevated and intentional style, TravisMathew is known for their incredibly soft and comfortable fabrics, and the women's line is no exception. Each product is created with attention to detail for an intuitive fit and soft, lightweight feel. Cloud Collection, for example, the Cloud Collection is ultimate in soft comfort. Choose from shorts, joggers, hoodies, and more, each intentionally created for ultimate style. For the woman on the go, TravisMathew's women's line is designed for ease, easy to care for, and easy to wear. From hanging out with friends to the morning commute, a thoughtfully crafted fit across versatile styles provides confidence and comfort day in and day out. In TravisMathew, truly anyone and everyone can look great and feel great. Visit travismathew.com/women and take 20% off your entire order with code LADY20. That's 20% off your entire order at TravisMathew, TravisMathew.com/women with the code LADY20.
Now back to the Lady Gang.
Welcome to Allegedly What's Happening. Paris Hilton's having a baby.
She had the baby.
Paris Hilton had a baby.
Did it? Wait, I didn't follow this that much. Is it a girl, boy? What's the name? Like, do we have details? I know it was via surrogate.
It's a boy, right?
I think it's a boy. And it's just really funny because her mom came on E! News when we launched E! News for the first episode, and they were like asking her about something, and her mom was like, oh yeah, like she like basically was like shit the bed. It was like they're having tons of infertility issues and she's trying, and like I don't know, and then like that went everywhere, and then Paris was like, Mom, f off, like don't talk about it. And then I saw Paris at an event and I was like, oh, such a bummer what your mom did. And she's like, listen, like when I want a baby, I'll have a baby. I've got tons of embryos. They're ready to go when I'm ready. But like the whole time she was pregnant. That's why I hate talking about pregnancy with babies and celebrities. Thanks.
It's awkward.
It's so weird.
So awkward.
Anyway, I just love it. But here's what is so funny about the announcement. I literally thought it might have been a joke, like an AI, because if you look on her Instagram, it's like her hand with her nails and then the little baby hand.
Yeah.
It looks fake.
Wait, I gotta look.
I think it's
like,
just really...
did they airbrush it?
I think it's really not retouched, but like...
filtered?
Edited. You know, like beautifully edited, like it's in an editorial.
It's like a... Yeah, it
like
does
I wasn't
look
sure
like
if
AI.
she was.
No.
I wasn't sure if she was like, this is a baby, or this is like I'm launching a new AI company.
That is a weird picture.
Yeah,
The nails look fake.
yeah.
Interesting.
It's like you don't have a wrinkle on your hand. I got so many old. I guess so. Anyway, okay. I'm very excited, Jack, as our resident tastemaker, and Becca as our resident fashion girl. Doja Cat at Paris Fashion Week. What are your thoughts?
I have got to say, I am the biggest Schiaparelli fan in the entire world. Like, I am obsessed with this brand. I loved the Doja thing. I was obsessed with it. The animal heads weren't like my favorite thing in the entire world in that show, but I loved Doja Cat. I think it was amazing.
I could not stop seeing the people writing memes about like tampons and like, this is when I take my tampon out after like a full day.
Oh my God.
I did not. I guess I was like, if this was the Met Gala, it would have made more sense to me. But then, first of all, do whatever you want to do. It's an expression. It's whatever. She's already like really expressive and over the top. But I just was like, if I'm going to spend so much time getting ready, I either want it to be for Halloween, the Met Gala, or I want to look absolutely fucking beautiful. And you couldn't even really see if she wasn't, I mean, it wasn't like she was beautiful or ugly. It was like she was gone. She herself was gone and became the
tampon.
The look.
The bloody tampon. I thought it was so cool.
Did you see the next day when she wore the lashes all over her face?
Yeah.
No.
She was
Okay,
like,
so-
she had like a mustache and like she put
little
fake
thing
eyelashes like all over
as
her face. Like, a little
eyebrows?
mustache, a beard, and like her little eyebrows
Yeah.
flickering. I just love it. She is doing weird shit and doesn't give a
It's very Lady Gaga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very Gaga, actually. It's like a page out of that, like, Gaga, Madonna, early days book.
I was just fascinated because it only took them 5 hours to put 30,000
Because
crystals
they probably
on
had
her.
9 people.
But that's still so 30,000?
Yeah.
That's
It is.
wild.
It's like the cleanup from that. Like, you need to snake that drain, baby, after that shower. Like,
I'm like, how do you get them off? Is she soaking in a tub?
I also just look at, even when you get ready for red carpets, you're 100% of the time uncomfortable.
Yes.
Even in just like hair and makeup,
a pony.
a hair extension pony, or a heel that feels like shit, or like a corseted whatever. I'm like, I don't enjoy looking like good that much to be uncomfortable for that long. So
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
the shows are only 10 minutes, so it's like you go, you roll, you see the show, you cleanse. I hated the lion heads. I hated them. I've never actually hated anything more. It made me gasp, and then it made me think that I should make a dress with my stuffy from Tour, that little
Maybe
lion.
you should.
I should just wear a black dress and just put the stuffy on the side.
So the theme for that show was Dante's Inferno, and apparently those are like the 3 animals that Dante
I don't care. I don't
sees.
like it.
Oh my
I don't
God.
care.
I'm obsessed with it. But you should. That would be a good TikTok.
Okay. All right. Jen Shaw's going to jail. Okay. Jack doesn't watch Salt Lake, but do you know the story?
Yeah, generally.
Jen Shaw ripped off people. She said for an entire 4 seasons of Salt Lake City, she's innocent, she didn't do it. And then she pled guilty. She's going for like 6.5 years, which I think will mean like 3 years. And then she's now launched a site where you can give her your email, which I feel like is the worst possible thing for an internet scammer. Like, don't give this person your email. Like, it just seems like such a bad idea. She started like a Patreon website where it's like the real Jen Shaw or whatever. And you can put your email in and then you get like an email of like her video. I don't know. I'm not giving her my email, so I don't know what's behind the wall. Let us know what's behind the wall if you're dumb enough to give her your email. Anyway, but then she it sounded like she was like Stuart. I don't know, Becca, what do you think? I think Stuart all along was doing it, and she probably had some knowledge of that.
There's
But
no way that
I don't think she was the mastermind of it.
I disagree. I think she was the mastermind. I think that if Stuart had been doing everything and she didn't know, so the final season or the final episode so far, the reunion's coming. But Heather Gay, who we recorded with recently, her episode's coming out soon. She's an icon. I love her. She said the most impactful thing on the episode of Salt Lake City. She's sitting with Lisa Barlow and she's like, I think what happened is that they saw that they had a smoking gun. There was something in the evidence that was like this. It was probably like a freaking text or email that was completely damning and took the whole theory of Stuart being the mastermind out of it. And that's why she was like, okay. Like, I'll just plead guilty and then I'll get less of a sentence if I plead guilty, as opposed to like going through the whole thing and then being found guilty. So they made a joke in the show, but I was like, no, it's true. The guy that like is going and getting her picking her lunch up and like putting her shoes on her feet when it's snowing outside is not the guy who's the mastermind of this scheme. And it's like so crazy to even think that Stuart is the person. I'm sure he had everything to do with it, but was not doing it behind her back, basically. And
I just feel like if you're involved in a legal opportunity, like you got to check your ego and not go on a reality show. Like, isn't this like the 9th housewife that went to jail?
This is narcissism. Like, they feel like they've gotten away with it for this long. They're untouchable. There's like a textbook personality where anybody who's logical, who's breaking the law, is never going to put themselves out there to be, you know, picked apart and whatever. But these people really, truly believe they're going to get away with everything and that they covered their tracks.
Did she get, like, got because she went on the show and there were all these eyes on her? Like, could she have flown under the radar if it wasn't?
I have a fan theory.
What's your fan theory?
I think one of the other housewives called it in.
Well, that was the whole thing with, like, Meredith. They all thought that Meredith, like, flagged it. But I
mean, I don't know how a housewife knows how to call the FBI, but I don't know. It's suspect.
Yeah, I feel like anybody who is in that field who hears about the housewives is going to, like, do their due diligence and be like, how does this person have all their money? You know? And, like, but it's super f***ed up. And Leslie Grossman was on, she's a big Housewives fan, and she was on the Bitch Sesh talking about the whole thing. And, you know, for the whole season, I was like, God, Jen is so fun. I'm so bummed out.
Me too.
You know, she's so fun. She makes such good TV. She's so fun. And, like, almost becoming a fan of hers. And Leslie Grossman really, she talked some sense into me. She's like, this person is stealing from vulnerable people. Like, this is a bad person. This is somebody who can sleep at night knowing that she's stealing money. So it's like she's a trash human, but she makes good TV. And that's a lot of people.
That's Hollywood. Yeah. Okay, next. Obviously, Becca, the Glee documentary is out. And, like, I have questions. And then, like, obviously you're not posting about it, but then, like, I kind of saw your Instagram, so it was like...
I mean, I got nervous yesterday when I did an Instagram story thanking that Dirtbag Glee docuseries for my residuals going up.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, my God.
Are they going up?
Yeah. So I posted something because I've wanted to make a comment on this, like, Glee docuseries for such a long time, but I didn't know, like, the right thing to say, because you don't want anything to be taken
out of context,
and you don't want anything to be taken the wrong way. But the way I look at it was such a reach. It was just someone's desperate attempt to get attention for sensationalizing something that, like, should be left alone.
Yeah.
So this whole thing really, really bothered me. And then the more stuff that people kept tagging me in and the stuff I was seeing, I was just like, this. So I just was like, joke's on you, garbage docuseries. Like, our residuals are going through the roof now. So, I mean, even that, I had to sit there and be like, are you going to be okay if people take this the wrong way? If people, you know, think you're a dick for whatever? I'm like, you have to be so okay with it going either direction to post anything.
Did you watch it?
No, I have barely seen anything about it. It's not like it's like a thing.
I think depending on where you live on the internet, it's a thing or it's not. Do you know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
So it's everywhere. As far as I'm seeing, it's a lot, and I'm getting tagged in a lot of things, like a lot of quotes, a lot of this.
It's a lot of the media is, like, picking it up.
Entertainment Tonight is doing a like, they're
hack
doing
job.
So much about this thing, and I'm like, I don't know, you're making it seem really legit, and everybody's reaction that's worked on the show, aside from like the 2 people they got to do it, are like, this isn't legit. So it's just so weird. It'll go away quickly, but it's just
flash in the pan.
Did you watch it? Did anyone watch it?
No, I would never watch it, because the thing is the people that they had on, just like knowing that, like, granted, there were obviously people who could tell a story and who had their own perspective of it, but then there were people who were so on the outside that you're like, you can't possibly have anything to contribute that we should trust.
Right.
So it was a bad combination of, like, people involved, and it just felt like, you know what it felt like? Ambulance chasing.
Yeah.
It felt like
that's definitely what it felt like.
Yes, like the lowest branch. How do we, and the way that they promoted it, like 3 mysterious deaths. I'm like, mysterious. I don't know. It just seems like really a reach.
It's just gross too.
It's gross.
It's like, do we need to be doing that? Like, it feels like bad karma. Like, it's just like yucky.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of lovely, this next story is for you, Jack, because I know you're in wedding dress life. Our friend Nikki Bella has her show, Nikki Bella Says I Do, and I feel like nothing's been promoted more in the history of television than this show. Like, I just see an ad for it every 5 seconds. I don't know. Anyway, I'm so excited for her, but she came out saying she wore the wedding dress that she had bought to marry John Cena.
Oh.
And she wore it for this wedding, and it's been very controversial. And she was like, basically, she said, you know, when you're a little girl, you dream of your wedding, and I knew this was the dress, and like the guy changed, but like I knew this was the dress. Like, I'm not gonna throw away my dream dress because that didn't work out. And I just want to get everyone's thoughts. Like, it's kind of interesting.
I'm more fascinated about the fact that she still loves this dress that when were they going to get married?
Like a decade ago.
A long time ago. Like, that must be your dress if you are still loving it just as much as the time that you bought it a decade ago. So props to her. Also, it's like, I mean, I kind of like it because she can completely detach the emotional aspect of it from the man. I don't know if I would be able to do that. I would have like way too much tied into like how it connected to what I thought my wedding would be like with somebody else. But props.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have emotional connections to even my own wedding dress. So I feel like it would be an easy solution.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of the time men don't see the dress. Like, I bet you John Cena never laid eyes on the dress. So, you know, so it's like she doesn't even have a memory of him seeing it for the first time. It would be different if she'd already worn it and like walked down the aisle, but she didn't even do it. So, yeah, it's your dress.
I kind of love it. We don't know what it is, obviously. Have they gotten married yet? I don't know.
It's coming out like this week.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited. I will watch it. I love a wedding moment. I like that. I like it a lot. All right. When we come back, more allegedly what's happening.
So right now I am actually drinking a Spark. It keeps my energy levels high and I get to stay focused because I kind of hit that slump in the afternoon and I don't really crave the taste of coffee. I love this. It's a great alternative. A Spark is Advocare's best-selling energy drink mix that has the perfect amount of caffeine for the days that I need that extra push. You can find your flavor of Spark and discover more products for everyday health and wellness needs at advocare.com/lady. Like I said, it's a great tasting coffee alternative powered by B vitamins to support my body's natural ability to make and sustain its own energy, and neuroactive ingredients to keep me focused and alert. Like I said, 3 p.m. hits, I need a little boost, and that's why I love Spark. I also keep these little individual sticks in my bag for whenever I need them, and I really, really love the mandarin orange flavor, but I've tried all the flavors at this point, and they're all delish. You can find your flavor of Spark and discover more products for everyday health and wellness needs at advocare.com/lady. Get 15% off your first order at advocare.com/lady.
Hey everyone, it's Kelty and I'm here with a special deal for you. What did we do? We bought too many tour t-shirts. And what happened? We didn't sell them all. So what do we have? $10 t-shirt day. Now, I've done this with Matt Nathanson tours that I never saw, but the t-shirt is the frickin' bomb. We have a few select sizes left. They're $10 on our website right now. Go shop, win. Very exciting. Get yourself a tour tee. Pretend like you were there. I think the tour tee even says we went to New Orleans and we had to cancel that date. It's all a fucking disaster, but it's a great t-shirt and it looks so cute with a little jean or a little leather pant. Okay, $10. TheLadyGang.com.
You're listening to The Lady Gang.
Okay, music news. Questionable. Justin Bieber, our guy, Biebs, he sold his music catalog for $200 million. And as the
Seems low.
Oh my God, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it does.
But does this go back to the rumor that we heard that he's allegedly struggling for money?
Definitely.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I
allegedly.
forgot about that.
Yeah, we heard an alleged rumor that he's been like, he's wanting more money.
Yes.
Because maybe he doesn't have as much as he did.
Yes. So I think this is a very low number because I will tell you, I've had 2 people in my life sell their music catalogs, one very recently, and this person has written one quasi-hit. Not even a hit, a quasi-hit. and sold their music catalog for like 7 figures. So Justin Bieber is like 2,000 times more famous than this, at least 5,000 times more famous. So if you take the multiple of like, say they got $1 million times 5,000 times, they should have got 500 million.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. I was doing the math in my head.
Sometimes
doesn't.
I've thought about that before with like my Jack Vanek brand and then like how much Kylie Jenner's worth. And I'm like, I feel like she's more than like 1,000 times more famous than me, you know? Like, it's just the math ain't mathin' sometimes.
The math is not mathing. I mean, I guess there's like a top out when you get to the point where you're like, okay, they don't like do more than like, there has to be return on investment. But you know, all these big companies now, they're just investing in music catalogs the way they invest in the stock market.
Right.
Like it's like the long term of that. And I was like, I just don't understand. I still don't understand. Chris has explained it to me a zillion times how like musicians make money. Like I'm just so confused by it all.
Like
They
from the
don't.
catalog, you mean?
Yeah, like from the catalog, and then like he's like, no, it's just merch, and I was like, so it's like LadyGang.
Yeah, it's literally
Gonna
merch,
sell a t-shirt?
unfortunately.
But it's
I
like
thought it was because anytime you license a song, the money that it's expensive to license popular music. So then
but it's
whoever
not
owns it.
that expensive. Like, okay, so
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But I guess they're like, it's
not
like
200
gambling.
million. Right.
It's the stock market because you're hoping that like one of or two of those songs is regularly licensed or forever and ever. I don't know, but I
like
also
when we were licensing music for Superfan, like to license a song for a show is like between $2,500 and $10,000. So how many times do you have to be licensed to get 400 million or 200 million? Should have been 4.
And
Bieber.
you have to be a band or a musician that's making music that's licensable too. That's like commercial music.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think Bieber got ripped, but it's fine because allegedly the road skincare is doing really well. So,
Well, I think that's why she's hustling so hard.
you think?
Yeah, because
Interesting.
they need to have 2 racehorses in that family now. Not need. I mean, they have more money than anybody ever needs, but in order to keep up with the
That
lifestyle.
Well, it's really interesting, and I'll just say we're going to talk about this in the book club as like a last little story here. I finished the Prince Harry book, and I know you guys aren't into the royals, but we do have some royal watchers, and we're reading Spare in the book club this month. And I'll say that it all makes sense. It all makes sense after finishing Spare what they are doing. Like I was like, you said you want to be left alone, and then you're doing Netflix and Spotify and writing a book. Like No, it's crazy the amount of cutoff they are. And like the security people were like, for what you need, like to protect you guys being like who you are, it's $6 million a year. And Harry's like,
my God.
yeah, actually, I'm not going to be able to afford that. They literally need money. They're cashing out. I mean, they can't get the $6 million security. Neither can we. But like, they
we
need the
all
money.
know they need the money. I didn't need to read Spare to know that all of this is about money. Every single move is about money.
No, of course. I knew that, but like I knew that, but the way he's explaining how the cutting off from the royal family and like how they set you up to never be cut off, like how this is your job, like he's never had a bank account, like, it's just like, it's a very weird way to live your life and then be like thrown to the wolves. And his dad and his brother are so fucking mad at him that they're like, for good reason or not good reason. But he's basically like, I'm in the world, and he's like a 40-year-old guy that's like never had a job. Like it's just
That's
wild.
like every kid I grew up with a trust fund.
No, 100%. It's 100% that. It's just like it's kind of wild. It's just, anyway. I know you're never going to get on board, and that's fine.
Even
you can be a Harry hater.
Even Tracy and I were DMing each other because she loves Meghan and like. Was very much like on their side, or probably still
And
is.
she hated her review of Spare. Really hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
Did she
she was
hate it?
even like, "Come on, we're not that dumb." That's what it is. Is like she's like, "We're not that stupid. You're pretending and you're playing, but just be straight up, be frank."
Yeah.
Like we want to live in Montecito next to Ellen, okay? And you know what that requires? A lot of fucking money. And I want to be powerful forever, and I want to be rich forever. So this is the game plan.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with building the empire, but don't make it be like, this is our only option. This is the only place we could turn. Was book
nobody
deals
would
and
judge
podcasts.
them.
No one would judge you. Just
It's
go.
like, just
go.
be honest.
Be.
Yeah.
Also, one last thing. I've never had more of a boner killer than hearing Prince Harry read excerpts from his book. I thought he was so
yes.
hot and mysterious when he was part of the royal family, or before he was ever like in the public eye.
Yeah.
When he didn't speak, I was like, wow, he's probably mysterious and cool and like, he was the bad boy. And, I could not be
I
less.
love his little accent.
It's not the act. It's the whole vibe.
I didn't need him
you
to
think
talk
about everything.
frostbitten
It's
penis.
like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Soggy penis.
The penis was too
one was
much
weird.
for me. No.
All right. Well,
I mean, don't do that. If you're hairy, like, there's enough scandal. You don't need to talk about your penis in the book. Anyway, live your life. All right. Thanks for coming to Allegedly What's Happening, and we will see
you next
Tuesday.
Thanks for listening. The Lady Gang is produced by Alex Ingber, Steve Delameter, and Jared Monaco. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And if you love it, share it with your friends on social media. Like, oh my God, I just listened to Lady Gang. This episode's so great. Swipe up to listen. And if you really want to, which we know you do, please follow us on social. At Kelty, at Becca, at Jack Vanek, and at The Lady Gang. Sign up for our newsletter at theladygang.com and join our secret Facebook group. It's super fun. See you next Tuesday.
All month long on Pluto TV, stream the biggest Tyler Perry movies free. Watch your favorites like Medea's Witness Protection and Medea's Big Happy Family. Join Tyler Perry as he goes on a couples retreat with Sharon Leal in Why Did I Get Married? Or Idris Elba and Gabrielle Union in the Tyler Perry directed film Daddy's Little Girls. Plus, Pluto TV has hundreds of channels with thousands more movies and TV shows. Available on live and on demand. Download the free Pluto TV app on all your favorite devices and start streaming now. Pluto TV. Drop in, watch free.